Ordinary people are evil. So in this video, I'm just going to go over some of the basic power struggles I've been seeing, not only in the last generation, but moreover in the last decade. I think our generation has been so money obsessed. The collective attention we put onto billionaires or becoming a millionaire is so concerning. You know, I gotta praise Gen Z a little bit more because we are more ambitious than the other generation, especially millennials, in my opinion. And in that quality trait, we have the desires to be more than a rat in the race. But I think some of us have taken it too far to the ends with this theory. In 1972, there was this philosopher, and before you click off, hear me out. This guy was named Peter Singer, and he created a theory that essentially proved how ordinary people are evil. The argument goes that if you're passing by, let's just say a park, and you see a kid's head stuck in the bars, would you save the kid? You know, hopefully most people would say yes. It doesn't take much to help a kid who obviously needs your help. And yeah, maybe you would be a little late to do the thing that you were doing, but you know, empathy. If you were at a grocery store and the pin pad asked if you would like to round up the change to donate to charity, and you actually had the money this time, would you be willing to round up your 10 cents? This is supererogatory versus obligatory. I don't know if I said those words right. Just stick with me. Most people don't want to help unless they have to. Most people don't want to donate to charity or help the kid in the park because they don't feel morally obligated to. And, you know, don't be the person who says, well, I always repost about wars and famine on my Instagram story, because that's not actually helping. You think you're spreading awareness, and you might be, but most people, without realizing, are only reposting certain media sources or activists because they want to appear as a good person to their followers or to their friends, whatever that good person means to them. So today, there was a couple that climbed the Empire State Building, and you know what? All power to them, but in this 105 degree weather that we're having in New York, I don't know why you would pick today of all days to do that. Anyways, if the FBI is watching, I'm not saying that I want to promote illegal activity, but you know, that's pretty Catwoman and Batman type. You know, it was pretty cool. And most of New York is very impressed. They were waving this flag that states, when the power of love overcomes the love of power, then the world will know peace. Now, the rest of this video is going to be a little cringy, so stick with me as I explain this whole generation. If we don't do something about ourselves, we are cooked. We are so hyper-focused on individualism, and even though I kind of do like capitalism, it can lead to an intense amount of competition. Now, I know I just created an entire moral lesson on the two people who just popped up on my feed while I was scrolling on Twitter or X, but you know, I needed a new YouTube video, and they did the job. This generation, in my opinion, is facing tremendous turmoil, and it really is the phones. Our attention spans and dopamine receptors are fried. Our goals are selfish, and most people are stuck in this cycle of loneliness or BS situationships. Relationships are even short-formed. That's how terrible it has gotten. And I'm actually happy that you're still watching this video to this point, because it means that you are on the way to fixing this disease. The gap between people with actual knowledge and actual skill versus the people that were programmed with ADHD that legitimately could have been prevented if they had just gotten a TV and an iPhone a decade after it was given to them is going to be insane in the next 20 years. It reminds me of the Toy Story 5 movie. I didn't see the movie, but obviously I know that the main enemy is the device, the iPad, and I could wrap around like the summary, maybe not the ending, but at least the plot is, it really is the freaking iPad. And in this weird, iPad kid, TikTok, screen time movement, it promotes capitalism, nerfing the overall populations with these phones and entertainment makes power so much more achievable and so much more desirable that the people in the higher class look at the lower class like slaves. You can be online for about an hour or so and immediately, especially in today's society, get hit with a bunch of self-help theories or insecure influencers or people who just want to be famous. It kind of reminds me of I wanna be famous. It's like everybody on that show wants to be famous. It's like a Love Island. Like every time I hear about Love Island, I think about that TV show. I didn't really watch more than a couple of episodes growing up of I don't know what the TV show is. I just know the theme song, but I didn't watch that show. But it's exactly what Love Island portrays, and these kind of content of people just wanting to be online. But all these people that are influencers, they're always in this lower social class because they're dumb. And even if they're not, maybe they're a millionaire or whatever, they're promoting so much stupidism in today's society. Back to the self-help theories. We are so concerned on improving our life, especially Gen Z. Your life just began. And I'm going to make 100 videos on self-help. And you know what? I do it because I like it. But I want to say in every video that you need to calm down with it. In order to progress in a healthy way, you have to help other people in the process. That's legitimately the plot, and we've lost it. So back to this philosopher, Singer. His main point kind of sums up this theory, this self-help process where this generation, the next, and the last are in this competitive pull to get to the top of the human hierarchy. We never really look back. Those on top are to be respected, and those at the bottom are to be pitied. But what if you are at the bottom too? Most people watching this will probably agree to disagree that they're somewhere around the middle. And it might be hard to even think about helping anyone below you because you're barely staying afloat as it is. And you really have to question who made it like that? Who made it where we would have to second guess donating 10 cents to charity? Who made it where billionaires will tell us to skip college, to skip out on getting a formal education? And then you're going to be like, well, college is expensive. Well, who made it like that? The people who like power, the people who pity you and everyone else at the bottom. Now, this isn't a eat the rich campaign. I personally, although this kind of contradicts what I'm saying in the past, I personally don't hate rich people. I dislike people who have enough but won't give it. People who see the little kid stuck and walk past because it's not my kid. People that lack empathy because having too much will restrict the bank account. People who are trillionaires and claim that the world is ending and we have to go to the moon instead of fixing the one we live on right now. But we still all want it. We still want the fast cars, the hot girls, or to be one. The chase, the thrill, the money falling. But when someone else who's in power has it, suddenly the game is rigged. Suddenly it's, oh no, I just want enough to get by. It's BS. That's why you're constantly trying to improve yourself by watching self-help videos, because you want that lifestyle. And I guess, there are pros and cons to each lifestyle, but there should never be a con to existing. I think that was the message, to delete this power-hungry mentality, this resentment towards the rich. I think the overall message pointed to rich people. It pointed to capitalism as the entirety. But what we've gotten is just this resentment towards the people we are promoted or propagated to want to be. We've lost the plot, the morality, and I don't think this is new. I don't think that some humans have the moral capability to save the kids stuck in bars because we aren't taught it. We are taught capitalism. We are taught competition. And if you're at the bottom, you're supposed to hate the people at the top. And if you're at the top, you're supposed to discuss the bottom. We are taught helplessness, like in the Why School Sucks video that I made. And we are taught to consume. But overall, we are taught that the most important thing is power, that we need to always want more and more. And in doing so, we climb this hierarchy, leaving people behind. But we also get the ability to get the things and experiences we never would have gotten if we didn't try, if we didn't climb. And honestly, I don't know which is worse. So yeah, maybe ordinary people are evil, and maybe people in power are evil too. Even if we are poor, we tend to focus on the obligatory, the things that we have to do, the things that will only help ourselves achieve greatness. And maybe this generation will learn a lesson, to course correct, to give back. Not just the poor people who can round up their 10 cents, or the poor people who are going to help the kid behind the bar, but the rich people who can give to charity. So let the odds be ever in your favor.